Eddie,
interview. We
G,
here.
what
We
we
here.
saying, brother?
What
What we saying, my man? Good to see you, brother.
Yo, like I thought my hair was getting a little bit crazy. Yeah,
uh, I had an idea. I feel like I should have fixed it before, but I was like, fuck it, you know. We're giving the raw and real, you know.
for real, for real. You gotta give it to him raw, you know.
No buffing the nails, no lining up the beard, just straight up raw, you know. Got the joint going on, man. Fuck with it.
For sure, for sure. So how's it going? How's it going on this wonderful weekend?
Man, it's going really good, man. Got the day off. Federal holiday, you know what I'm saying? And
You know,
you
I
know,
mean,
we just making music. We just cooking up every day, like it is. You know, I just cooked some pork, and I ate it, and I'm still don't know whether I cooked it enough or not. So if I pass out during this interview, you know, call 911.
uh, is that like a normal thing? Like, you just like you don't know if like you're like because like a lot of people keep a lot of tracks, not sure if they're fully cooked. Do you have like a whole bunch of tracks? Like, feel like like some of them aren't like like need an extra little spice on them or whatever like that.
Tracks? No, I was talking about food.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, tracks,
I was
tracks.
actually I was actually like taking it from food
Oh,
to music.
damn!
You
This
know,
is the
because like a lot
next.
of people like have a lot of shit that they're cooking up. They go, I'm cooking up in the studio. You know.
Damn, that's high level interview questions, man. I never had an interviewer really like dig that deep, go from food to music like that. Um, what's the have I ever do I ever have uncooked
So,
food?
so, 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 so do you have a whole bunch of like tracks like just not fully cooked,
Exactly,
or
yes,
like
100%. My process is that I'll record reference tracks where I'll just mumble through shit, and then I'll
yeah,
go back and like kind of I'll just lay down the initial vibe. So you don't want to listen to uncooked music. You definitely don't want to eat uncooked food. You know what I mean?
right, and like some of them probably are just sitting there. They just need an extra little spices on them, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and some music is like steak tartare, you know. You just need to sizzle it a little bit, and it's ready to go. Just one take freestyle, you know, and it'll taste fine either way.
Like and like I've actually noticed you got some different types of music. Like I know some tracks are like lemon pepper, and some tracks are like hot wings, you know.
100%, man. Sometimes you want a nice cake, nice sugary cake, and sometimes you just want some like beef and broccoli, you know. Sometimes you want some nice pretty like melodies and shit and just some like soft little shit, and sometimes you just want that raw, you know. You don't even need to mix it, just fucking get on the mic and say how you feel, you know.
So, how that style like develop? Like, were you like one style at first, and you kind of like developed more styles and kind of like made it like a melting
Mm.
pot, or were you always like from the jump like trying different shit?
I've always been trying different shit, and I think it really came from my upbringing, the different music that I was been listening to, and just the mentality that I've been given. You know, I never was raised. Um, my parents never told me I should just do one thing in life. You know, like they would show me a lot of history and like art and this and that. So like I was always into different things, and you know, I was brought up a lot off of, like the Beatles and Pink Floyd and all that kind of stuff, and like R&B and Lauryn Hill and all that. And then whenever I was like 6, 7 years old, I got exposed to Lil Wayne and Drake and all that shit. And my friends and I would be playing these music videos in the living room loud as fuck. We'd be listening to like what's that one track like, as long as my bitches love me, my bitch, like naked girls and shit. My parents were like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you guys doing? So ever since a young age, I was exposed to lots of different things, and you know, even if you go back to my first album, I'd attempt a lot of different stuff. I was only like 15 years old, but I'd attempt a lot of shit. A lot of times it would come out sounding like ass, but you know, I'd sing badly, I'd rap badly, you know what I mean, and do soul songs, R&B songs, dance songs. I've always been that way. So that's it. It can make it hard to market myself because it's hard to know what label to put on myself to show people this is what I do when I don't really know what that label is. So I just try my best to put my personality across, and you know, if people vibe with me, they'll most likely vibe with my music. You know.
You know what? Like, I don't think you really need to put a label on it. Like, if you look at one of my favorite rappers of all time, like Tupac, like if you listen to his shit, he has like Hit 'Em Up, then he has like Dear Mama, then he has like How Do You Want It, like so many different flavors of like different types of songs, and and he was amazing, right? So like you
So
don't really
true.
have to put a label on it. It's like I think nowadays a lot of people are more open to just being themselves now. Like it's so much easier. Like before, um people want to have like an image, and like people still do that, but it was more like people were scared to have multiple things out, right?
It's
They only
so
want to show one side.
it's so true, especially if you look at like the biggest artist in the world right now. Like Drake is probably the biggest rapper, and he will go and make Controlla and
Yeah,
started from the bottom and passion fruit, and it's like it doesn't even sound like the same artist. And I think that nowadays music and entertainment's a lot more personality based rather than I guess like art based or talent based. Like back in the day, if you were a disco artist, you were a disco artist. Like like that's kind of the box you were put into, and you would only get on a certain radio station. But nowadays with social media and shit, it's like you get people like MGK going from rap to pop punk and all that shit.
right,
You know,
right.
and I think
So,
that's beautiful.
have you experienced when you go places and people be like, "Oh shit," and they're like when they see you, like, they're like, "Oh man, yo, I love that song." Fucking, have you really experienced being out and like having that a lot or
Yeah,
no?
100%. Like it's like I live in Charlottetown, PEI, which is a very
Yeah,
small city. It's only like 40,000 people. So it's like there's literally like two or three venues that do hip hop, and
yeah,
so it's a really small circle. So like I get lots of people that I'm like, oh, I followed you on Instagram, and now you're right in front of me. So like it's the same thing with like if you go to like a Toronto or a big city, you can like go to the grocery store and take your clothes off and sing opera and do whatever, and chances are you'll never meet those people ever again. But on
yeah.
PEI, if you do that shit, like you're just that guy forever for life. So so yeah, like it's definitely you don't have to be famous to be recognized on PEI for sure.
Okay, okay. Because that's like an amazing experience for an artist. Like when you go to places and people geek out and they're like, "Oh my god, yeah," you
Yeah,
know.
and I think a
So
lot of just like a thing to add to that is that I think a lot of people make the mistake where that happens, and then they start to think that they're like a big deal. And it's like I'd
oh
rather
yeah,
just
yeah,
look at
for
it
sure,
like
for sure.
this person's going out of my way to like show appreciation, whatever. Like that says more about that person. And I'm just like, yo, like, like I don't look at you like, oh, you're a fan, you're a statistic. Like, no, you're just a homie. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like you ride for me like, oh, what do? You do comedy, you do art. Like, yeah, let me support your shit too. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, yeah.
for me when I get it, because like I feel like my interviews are like I'm exactly who I am in real life. You know, like when I speak on these interviews, and if people fuck with the interviews, I'm like, yo, they fuck with me.
100%. I feel the same
Yeah.
way.
So I actually met you through D Saint. So how'd you meet D Saint?
Man, D Saint's the homie, man. I met him through. So there was a festival or a competition on PEI called Iron Mike Festival, and I at the time wasn't of age. I wasn't 19 at the time, but basically the way it worked is that you could apply, and then you'd have to get a certain amount of votes, and if you got enough votes, you could go into the competition, and there was
Yeah.
judges and da 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 da. So I applied, but I didn't get enough numbers or whatever. So I didn't end up going to the show. But D Saint did. He got like the most amount of votes, because he got a lot of people that
Yeah.
ride for him. And
He's the man.
you know,
He's the man too.
for real, though,
You
he's
know,
totally the man. Biggest respect, biggest ups to D Saint, man. He's dope.
for sure.
And
Big ups, big ups.
big ups for real. Anyway, so through Iron Mike, he was talking to some people there. I'm sure he checked through like everybody's music that he saw, and he was like, "Damn, like, there's actually a thing going on here in PEI. There's actually hip hop. Like, what the hell?" And it got him all excited. And then he asked two or three people, like, "Man, I'd like to throw my own show. Who should I talk to about that?" At the time, I was doing my first show. I was like 18 years old. I was like putting on my first show, and they all said, "Hit up KM, hit up KM, hit up KM. He's doing shows." So then he sent me a DM. He came to my show. I don't think I got a chance to meet him at that show, but he gave me a DM. He said, "Look, I'm trying to do shows too." I was like, "Dope." So then we went and we did a park show together, where, yeah, I booked the art. I think I booked the artist. Then he came and brought all the equipment and DJ'd and like hosted the whole thing and all of that, and it went really great. We got like 150 people out in the park. It was super, super, super dope. And from that point on, we just hit it off, man. Because like especially like he was one of the guys on the island that he was very open-minded. Like I think a lot of people when they're in a small place, they get very closed-minded, and there's 15 rappers, and you start thinking in this room of like only 15. And he, of course, from being big city and being a dreamer himself and being an open thinker himself, I could see that he had that vision that I wanted to collaborate with. So from that on, we just hit it off, and he's like a brother to me. He's like a big brother.
So, so that being said, I just heard something like So, a lot of rappers when it is like 15 rappers in the city or whatever like that, like people are like focused on like, oh, I want to try and be the best rapper in the
Yeah,
city. Or like me when I start doing interviews and I'm like I want to be the best interviewer in like Southern Ontario, and then I got to the point where I was like I started watching other people's like interviews and I'm like no, I want to be the best interviewer in the world. Like my competition isn't like the interview guys around here. My competition is like Sway, Angie Martinez, like these big time interview like platform people that have been doing it like huge. Like they should be my competition.
yep.
I should learn from that. Like a lot of people from smaller like cities get into this thing of like, oh, I want to be the best rapper in my city. It's like you should want to be the best rapper in the world.
That's 100% true, and I've always felt the same way. Like PEI has a lot of great talent. They're super talented artists here. But personally, I never try to compete with them. I've always tried to compete with like Kendrick Lamar and Kanye and Drake and all them. Like they
Nice,
literally the greatest.
nice, yeah.
And that's the thing too is that, like I have a very very high standard for this shit, and I can't
I like
bring
that.
myself to listen to something that isn't genuinely great. And when I say great, great, the word great is kind of lost its meaning. When I say great, I mean it's still as dope 10 years later as it was when it dropped.
Like,
So
like it gives you the chills. Like you just get this like vibe as soon as you hear it.
yeah, like just like there's a lot of good music, but there's not a lot of great music. Like
Right.
like just like damn, like production, lyrics, concept, everything down. Like what I mean? Like that doesn't happen very often. So I always looked at like the greats who every album they put out is a classic, and I compare myself to them, which definitely makes me very hard on myself. But I'm proud that I'm hard on myself. A lot of people they'll use it as a way to kind of destroy themselves, not think that they're good enough. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just not good enough yet.
That's why I find because I kind of get that way myself sometimes. Which is like I'm like I want to hold shit until like I feel it's great. But like that's why like it's good to have a team around of like people that keep it real with you and be like you can play something and they'll be like yo put it out now like that shit's fire like
Yeah,
and you might think it needs an extra little tweak or whatever like that. But like those people, like if you get the right people, like they have like the genuine, I know, like D Saint, you play him something, he if he feels it is like it is what it is, it's gonna be something, he'll tell you, and if it needs work, he's gonna tell you,
100%.
like it's good to have like Burns, like you met
Oh
Burns,
yeah,
and
Big G.
so what was it like hopping on the plane and coming to Hamilton?
It was a really great experience, man. It's actually I got a lot of funny stories to tell because I've told this to a lot of people coming back. But yeah, man. So it was my first time on a plane. My first
Yeah.
time going to Hamilton, and yeah. So the plane, I thought that I was gonna be a lot more scared, but I actually I enjoy it. I wouldn't say I'm like an adrenaline junkie, but I do like that adrenaline feeling of like you're kind of afraid of something and there's a build up and then holy shit you're 30,000 feet in the air. Like I like that feeling, right? So like I actually really
Yeah.
enjoyed the plane ride itself. Ears popped like crazy. My ears do not like planes, but it's all good. Get off. The first really funny thing was the Charlottetown airport compared to the Pearson airport was just like so different. Like Charlottetown airport is like there's no planes. You go to Pearson airport, you see like 30 planes there. You go to Charlottetown airport, there's
Yeah.
nothing, and it's like the size of like a police department or something. Like it's like so small. Like it's like the size. It's like a I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like literally like two rooms is the Charlottetown airport. And then you get there, you go to the people checking your bags and shit, and they're all so nice. They're like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, buddy, take your time, da 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 da. Yeah, that's all good. You can take that with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead." And you go to Pearson, and they're like, "Who the fuck are you? Are you trying to steal something? What's that in your pocket? Da 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 da." And Pearson is just like the so massive. You could go through there for days and never reach the end of it. Anyway, it was pretty cool seeing outside of the plane, seeing like all the lights from Toronto. You can see like the whole city, and like it's massive. And you fly
Oh,
for
for
like
sure.
you fly for like 15 minutes, and it's still in the same city. You're like it's like you can see how massive it is. And then landing
Yeah,
down, and we're in the airport, and I can see Toronto and the CN Tower and all that. And I'm still kind of touristy, right? So I'm like, oh, I want to see
yeah,
the CN Tower and all that shit.
yeah.
And then by the time it took us about an hour, maybe 2 hours to get from where we were to our rental car. And by that point, we're just like, man, fuck, like we're just exhausted. Like it was like 1:30 in the morning, and I go from like this glamorous, nice like CN Tower and shit. Then we go on like the highway to the Skyway, and then it goes from this glamorous, nice shit, and then I see Hamilton, and I mean like, and I don't want to like shit on nobody's hometown. You know, I got nothing
No,
against
no, I
Hamilton.
hear
I met
you.
some amazing people, but it's the meanest looking city though. Like you just see like the smokestacks and the fire stacks and shit. And, like if there was a soundtrack playing at that moment, it'd be going like dun dun dun, blah, blah, blah. Like it. Like I was telling Decent, I'm like this is like Gotham City, like literally. And then we were driving down and stuff like that. And it's just like whatever, kind of ghetto looking. And then D Saint rolls down the window, and I smell a smell I've never smelt before in my whole life. Like I've smelt gasoline and I've smelt steel being cut, but I've never smelt them together. And I'm like, I don't know how you could live in this neighborhood. Anyway, though, but I gotta really give hats off to D Saint for this. Is that he definitely gave me the red carpet treatment when I came there. And I think I mentioned this to you when I was over there, but I think he really brought out the best people in Hamilton to come for me to see. He didn't really allow anybody shady around. He was very protective, and I feel like yeah, like I really felt like I met the best people, and it was a really big eye opener for me for like obviously I've been outside of PEI, I've been
Yeah.
around, but usually whenever you go to on a vacation or you go somewhere, you go to like a nice hotel, you kind of stay away from the bad spots, you whatever. But I went and actually like went there. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a vacation or anything like that. Like, I actually like so it was definitely eye opener for um just how different people live, how a lot of the real world is, how you know PEI is kind of it's not like the rest of the world. You know, it's very unique. But yeah, I had a really amazing experience. It was great to meet you and Burns and all those guys and Lucky and Block Bishop and all of them, man. Like it was like you guys are all dope and really down to earth. And yeah, it was an awesome experience all around.
Yeah, it was actually funny. Like we all woke up and like usually like I remember when I was younger, like I was always up before everybody. Like I wouldn't sleep, and it was funny. Like to me, like all those old guys were up, and like the young guy was still sleeping. Or I was laughing. I'm like, yo, shit's changed, eh? Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
for
like
real. Because we got all these screens now, so we're up till 4 in the morning watching YouTube and shit like that. And
right, right.
I've always been a late night sleeping kind of guy for sure.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I can sleep a lot too. Like I'm the kind of guy that like if I leave myself and I don't set an alarm or anything, like I can sleep 12 hours a night easily. So for me, it's like a lot of people have problems going to sleep. For me, it's like I have problems waking up. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
So what was it like doing the music video with Josh Tiller?
amazing guy, man. Super down to earth, very professional, and he has this really great mix of being professional but also not being like still being friendly. Like I meet it. Like I've worked with a lot of people who are the professional, but they're just like, yeah, this shot, da 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 da. Like they kind of like they're at work, you know. But this guy
Yeah,
didn't feel like he was at work. It just felt like we were just hanging out. And um, he so we were doing D Saint's video like all day. We did like 3 or 4 hours. Great video. If anybody here, check it out.
for sure.
Redefine music video. And
You guys see Eddie G cameo in
oh
there?
yeah, 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 we do got the cameo. And yeah, and like of course, like I told D Saint like before going, I'm like, this trip is about you. It's not about me. He's going back to see people he hasn't seen in 5 years and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But he knows,
yeah.
and I told him this again. I was like, but this music thing excites me so much that like I sometimes it's hard to not make shit about myself, even though this trip isn't about me at all. So
Right.
I was like, with this music video, man, you think that like 5 minutes I could just like get a quick video? And he's like, yeah, yeah, we'll see. I'm like, I'm not trying to make this about myself. Though. This is about you. But if we get a minute, I might ask him if he can do a video for me too. So we did his whole video, and then we had like a few minutes left, and I asked Josh, I was like, "Yo, like, could you do like this quick 5 minute video for me?" And I'm like, you don't have to edit it or anything. Just send me the raw file. I'll edit it myself." He's like, "Oh, that's like easy as hell. Yeah, no problem." So he shoots it for me. We literally did it in like 2 takes. Like we did it on the walk from Burns's to Tim Hortons,
Yeah.
and super quick. And then that
And
night he's like,
I've actually shot a video exactly right
"That's
there too.
dope. That's dope. It's a cool spot. It looks really hood. It
Yeah.
looks like it looks like it's really like hood." Which is funny that right there is kind of like in the middle between, I wouldn't say like suburbs, but like a suburban kind of area,
Yeah.
and then like hood,
Yeah.
right to the like that's like the divider.
If you ever get the chance on my channel, check out Strictly Business.
Strictly business.
A
Okay,
song I did on there.
for sure.
Exact same spot for the video.
Strictly business, cool. I'll remember that on a Eddie G TV.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, so we shot that like really quick, like literally in 10 minutes, and then that night he was like, "You know what, man? Send me the song. I'm gonna edit it for you." I'm like, "Oh my man, man, you didn't have to do that," but he did, and he edited it in one night. And it's funny. I feel like working with him, I finally met my match for somebody who works as fast as I do. Because like it was almost like a race. Like I was like, he sent me the video that night. The next morning, I had it uploaded, and then I had all the TikToks made that one day. And it was like we're racing to see who could work faster to get it out. No, I can't say any. I couldn't give any higher praises to that guy, man. Definitely, if anybody in Hamilton's watching this and needs to get a video done, go to Josh, man. Whatever money it is, it's worth every single penny.
Oh, for sure.
Because you're getting like Netflix quality with, what's a good way to put this? Netflix quality with the one-to-one connection and customer service as a sole proprietorship or whatever you want to say. You know?
I like it. I like that. That's a good call for
You
sure.
should use that
So
as,
so
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
so you're quick with the music. So what's coming up? What's coming up next?
So I got a song coming out. I want it to be out in June called Chasing. It's a bit of a different one. It's like a soul sample kind of dance beat, kind of like old school Kanye vibes. Really cool message in there with it. I'm doing a summer festival here in PEI. If anybody is here watching this in PEI, you should definitely go check that out. It's in Victoria Park and Confederation Landing. I got all the information for you to check that out. And yeah, we're just constantly pumping out videos, content. I'd really say if you wanted to learn more about me, you could just go to my Instagram right now. I post a video every day, and then from there you can check out my link tree, see what you want to see.
So what were the slangs like? We mentioned a couple things. What were the slangs that were different from PEI to Hamilton?
That's a good one, man. That's funny. The first one, the night that we got to Burns's, I don't think I hardly ate all day. It was like 1 a.m. I haven't eaten since like 11 a.m. And like on a plane and shit like that, like I'm hungry as fuck. And D-Saint just doesn't eat. I don't know what's up with that guy, but he just doesn't eat. You know what I mean? Like he'll eat maybe once a day, and he'll tell you that. But I don't have those superhuman powers that he does. So I was like, yo, like guys, I don't want to be an ass and be like the guy always like pressuring for food, but I'm willing to buy you guys a pizza. You just need to let me know where like is a good place to order. So then they tell me this place is like Queen's Pizza or whatever, and then I'm on the phone with the lady at the pizza shop, and I'm about to like ask her for what pizza I want, and I'm kind of nervous because there's 4 guys. I don't know what everybody likes, so I just ask her if she get the works, and the whole room just goes quiet, and she goes, so what toppings? Can I get the works? And I think she might have hung up, and I had to call again or something like that. But then eventually, it clicked in my head and went, oh, the works isn't a thing over here. So then I asked for meat lovers or something like that. But I thought it was worldwide, like the works. Like I don't know, but for you guys, it's like deluxe.
Like the works like that. Like it's not really for pizza here, but like if you're getting a burger,
Yeah.
then like pretty much like it means everything on the burger.
Yeah, exactly, everything. But I guess you guys would say deluxe.
Yeah, deluxe is still like it's not everything still.
Yeah.
But like Yeah, I don't think there is like everything for pizza. I think they just say everything.
Which the weirdest thing is, I don't know if I've ever ordered the works in my life. It was really just I just couldn't think of anything else. Not just on the spot. So that was the first one. The other one was a wharf. We call like a dock that you would dock a boat at. We call it a wharf. Yeah, I guess you guys call it a pier.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
we also use the word pier, but I don't know why. I don't know what parts of the world use wharf. I don't know if that's only East Coast or if it's just like what. Because I know works isn't just East Coast. Like I know that that's somewhat worldwide, but it's just a pizza thing. Um, so wharf. I need to look it up. I don't know what parts of the world use wharf. Also a pint. So it was somebody, I think it was Lucky or somebody, got a pint of whiskey,
Pint? Yeah.
and you
Okay.
guys
Yeah.
call it a Mickey,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
a Mickey,
yeah.
and we call it a pint. And I thought that was worldwide, like, because the unit of measurement is a pint. Anyway, but a Mickey
Oh, I
from
never even thought of that because like for beer, like
yeah,
if you go to the bar, you're a
there's like
point,
a pint.
you get yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But like honestly, like we've never said that. Like I've never been like, oh, I got a pint of whiskey.
Now,
Like
the big bottles? Would you guys call that a quart or
a
a
26er.
four or yeah, a
Like
quart?
we have Mickey's 26er, 40, 60, and then Texas Mickey.
Yeah, that's weird as fuck. I mean, 40 we say as well, but like I think we call it a quart of, yeah, whatever. Though that's probably an East
Okay.
Coast thing.
Yeah.
But and that's all the ones I can think of. But I'm sure there's tons more. But
I
yeah, no.
bet
But
for sure.
from my understanding, a Mickey is like a drug you put in someone's drink, like a roofie.
No,
Like
no,
you
no.
slipped him a Mickey. There was a Seinfeld episode where George was trying to trick his boss, and because he wanted to get back at his boss. I don't know if you ever saw Seinfeld, but
Yeah.
he tells Jerry, I'm gonna slip him a Mickey. And that's like a
Okay.
worldwide
Yeah.
thing. Anyway, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So I was just
yeah,
that's
because
just
like
little things.
yeah,
And
here's
the funny thing is, obviously, everywhere you go, there's gonna be different terminology. That's not really surprising. But the funny thing is that it was so shocking to me because I've been kind of in a bubble.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I definitely want to see more of the world, man. The funny thing is that a lot of
Like
people I
like
grew up
like
around.
like a thing on that for slang. Like for me, like I've always been one to like I love slang. Like different so I'll go to hip hop shows in different cities and stuff and pick things up, and I'll come back in Brantford and I'll be like I'm going to work and then I'll start saying these things at work, and people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, and I have to explain it to them and they'll be like, well, what the fuck? Why are you talking like that? I'm like, because I love this slang shit. I
Yeah,
love learning new fucking like new shit. Like I've always been one to like pick up slang in different spots, try and bring it back somewhere. So like,
for
was there anyone's like you're like, okay, I'm gonna bring this one back?
I don't know if I'm gonna start saying Mickey. I think
Yeah.
I think people might get the wrong idea. Again, there wasn't that much. I mean, like we're still in
Yeah,
Canada, right? So it can't be that much. But if you go to like another side of the world, there'd probably be like the whole terminology for everything is different, right?
for sure.
But the funny thing is that a lot of people that raised me, or at least I grew up around when I was a kid, weren't from the East Coast or from PEI. So I definitely have like a perspective worldwide, but it's not firsthand. I have
Yeah,
a secondhand perspective of the world. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I'm definitely not like if I was raised completely by Islanders, you definitely hear it in my accent and in my way that I talk and stuff like that more. But um, no, I'm very proud of PEI though, man. It's a dope spot.
So if like let's say I was a new person to you, I never heard your music, never heard anything. What is the one song hold on. So pick a song, one song for you want me to hear if I never heard anything, and then pick a song that you'd want a girl to hear for like if,
Mm,
so like yeah.
that's a really that's a really good one. I would say Walking Contradiction.
Okay,
And
for
that
me.
might be and I'm trying to think if there's a better one for a female, but honestly, I think females fuck with that too. Then maybe for the female, I'd say Hit the Road because I've had a lot of girls say that they like that song.
Okay.
And those were my two singles for my album I put out earlier this year. Hit the Road. They're both kind of dance tracks. They're both kind of like auto-tune, like dance tracks. Hit the Road is more fun, I'd say, uh, but Walking Contradictions is like probably the best song I've put out. Like it's like a good like pop record. It's not even rap. It's like a pop record.
So if we're doing like a dance type of stuff, are your dance moves on point?
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Because like me, I'm actually for a big guy. Like I've been told me like people be like, "Yo, I didn't know you could actually move like that."
I
It's
saw you.
crazy.
You're giving the moves at the hot spot.
Yeah, and that's when my foot was still fucked up. With a
Yeah.
fucked up foot, I still had moves.
How's your foot doing? Is it still fucked up?
Actually, it's a lot better. I've been doing some shit to kind of like
Nice.
yeah, it's doing a lot better. Doing a
Now you
lot
can
better
really bust a move.
for sure, for sure. I'm actually 3-0 in dance battles.
Damn. These
So
have
I've
dance
had
battles?
dance battles like get super drunk at parties. You know, like fucking let's get this on. You know,
That's pretty good. Maybe you'll have to come back to Hamilton and break your record.
I haven't actually battled in Hamilton yet, but I'm up for the competition.
There we go, man. That's next Eddie G interview would be while we're dancing.
Right, right. Once the shirt comes off, people know, you know, this shit's serious.
You go shirtless?
Oh, for sure.
Damn, bro. How did like you, you gotta save some pussy for the rest of the people in the party, the rest of the dudes in the party, you know? You can't take it all for yourself, man. Come on now. What the fuck are you doing? Gonna make some enemies with that.
Well, no, what I do is you know, I just get the party hype, and then I just leave with one, and then I just leave the rest of them there, all moist, ready for my friends to have a good time.
There,
Like
there you go.
I'm not greedy. I only need one.
So so they're aroused and they don't know why they're aroused, but now they're in heat, you know, they just need something, right?
Yeah.
And then wow, yeah, that's you could like that could almost be a business, like invite me to your party and I will get every girl wanted to get them all hopping.
For sure, for sure.
Eddie G business plans, man.
For sure, for sure. So, do you have any questions for me?
Let's go. I wasn't expecting that, man. Well, I got the dance party history.
Yeah,
You've told me you've told me why you started interviewing, but I don't know if I've ever asked you why it is that you love interviewing so much.
because it's really the conversation. It's like, man, it's like I've got so many gems, and I have applied some of these things that people have said to me in my life and changed my life. And I've heard people say, "Yo, I watched that interview, and like that part right there, it's really smart." And they apply that to their life. And I just feel I'm just really good at this conversation shit. And when I look back, I'm like everything I've done with it. I'm like, man, I've had some cool conversations with some dope people.
So you want to spread the knowledge.
For sure,
I like that,
for
man.
sure.
I respect that. It's a good reason to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Like it's all about like dropping gems. Like I was telling D Saint, I was like, man, when we had our last interview, it was like every fucking like minute and a half, it was like a major gem
ding,
being
ding, ding,
dropped.
ding, ding. Yeah,
You
D
know?
Saint's the biggest one for gems, man.
For
Yeah,
sure, for sure.
that's a good reason to do it. I have one more question that I thought of while you were answering that is, if you had $1 million budget for the Eddie G TV show, where would that $1 million go? What would your dream be?
If I had $1 million budget for it, I make sure I get all the right equipment. Um, I'd hire a couple of people.
So you'd have like
Maybe,
professional video, podcast, microphones, that kind of thing.
yeah, I get all the right equipment. I'd hire a small amount of people that do the right things. Um, Me, I've always been like a jack of all trades, but I feel like, man, if I had a team like to
Oh yeah,
do this part, do this part, do this part, and like I could really focus in and make this turn that $1 million into like $100 million.
facts. Now, what if you had $1 billion budget?
I would have like every single time you see the interview, like I'd be in a different country and like
Yeah,
I'd have like a baby lion sitting here while I'm interviewing you. You
that
know,
would be
like,
crazy. Be on top of the Burj Khalifa or something.
yeah, there's like some crazy shit. You
For
know,
real, man. These
just have
these
like
these rich dudes
just have
really
like an
got
eagle, just have an eagle sitting here
different
on my
animal,
shoulder.
different
Yeah,
animal each time. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think more rich guys need to like ball out a little bit more. I'd love to see like what if Elon Musk started a podcast where he just dropped like $2 million on each episode. Like
Right?
they just like rent like the top of the Burj Khalifa for the day or something. Like, so just some crazy like over the top like you just rent like a massive like mansion or something. I mean, maybe that's like some Mr. Beast type thing, but like that would definitely
Yeah, I'd be like, like silk shirts and, um, like all this,
cigars.
just going, just going nuts.
That's the dream.
Yeah,
That's the dream right there,
definitely,
man. That's where
definitely.
we got to get to, man. Sometimes I think about like what would I do if I had $1 billion for like a show or a music video or something like that. Like it's crazy to think about, but like if you could just spend infinite amount of money, like that's why I think it's a cool question too, because it's like it shows where people's like desires are, or where they want to get to, you know?
For
I don't know.
sure, for sure. Like, yeah, like, definitely, like, yeah. If you could put like $1 billion on like the shit that you already doing and the shit you're already loving, you know.
Would you do, like? And another misconception people have is that they think like, oh well, if I had $1 million, it would solve all my problems. It's like, probably
No, no,
wouldn't.
no,
Like if you
no.
can't manage $100, you probably can't manage 1 million. You know?
Exactly. Like money only like it amplifies.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
like it amplifies like everything you are. So like, yeah, if you're not doing good with the money you have, then you're not gonna do good with the money like a lottery or something like that.
And it's funny too, like, whenever Trump said he got a small loan of $1 million, like, regardless of what people think of Trump, like, I'm not talking politics here, but like, he turned that to like what, like 7 billion, and people are like, oh
Yeah,
well, someone gave him 1 million. It's like, let's see you turn $1 million into 7 billion, motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
true,
like it's not easy at all.
for sure, for sure. But yeah, is there anything I'd like to say before we wrap this up? And,
It's funny. It's funny. Anytime you're in like a job interview and people ask, "Is there any last questions or anything you want to say?" You never really do, but you feel like you have to come up with something just to have something to say. No, I guess last thing I would say is I asked you why you like the interviewing, but now I'll ask you what would be your ideal outcome of it. I don't know if that's really a different question, but
no, like I could maybe get like just certain people like I'd be super interested in like
Ice Spice.
like I'd get like Ice Spice like
Yeah,
Shania Twain would be a good one to get on the show but like yeah I'd love to get like Ice Cube,
yeah,
Nas,
be
like
crazy.
DJ Premier, Snoop Dogg, like some of these guys and and ask them because like I'm huge fans of their work so like like a RZA. Like
Yeah,
I would be insane too. Like yeah, like to have conversations with some of those people would be like
crazy. It'd be
would be fucking
insane.
amazing.
With
Yeah.
with with guys like that, I feel like with people that have done a lot of interviews in the past, I feel like you have to go back and watch their previous interviews to make sure you're not
Oh
repeating
yeah,
questions. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
for real. That'd be intimidating. Like sitting down with Nas, like, what questions do I even ask this guy? You know what I mean? Like,
No, for Nas, like Nas is my favorite rapper. So
yeah,
like if I knew I was gonna be sitting down with Nas, I'd have like man like he'd be like yo we've been here for like 3 hours like do you have more questions? I'd be like yeah I only have like 4 more pages.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Get a binder ready. Yeah, that's true.
Right?
It's all about how well you know people. Because definitely my favorite artist I could ask them a shit ton of questions.
Because also my style of interview is also like I want people to take away like what it is to like to chill with this person.
Yeah,
So like I might have like like for Nas I might have like 1,000 questions written down, but then like when he answers to one question, like four more are gonna pop in my head, and like and we're gonna make it a conversation, and like so like I just probably go on with forever with certain people,
that's
like Bert, like when me and Burns get on here, like I have to purposely at some point be like, okay,
it's
like
been 3 hours now. Like, yeah,
we need to cut this somewhere,
yeah,
you know.
for real though. Yeah, it's the last thing I'll say is that it's definitely impressive how you're able to keep the conversation so natural, but also just like how I'll say something and it'll make you come with like a question so quick. Like I said, I don't know if I undercooked my pork or not, and you're like, what about music? Ever undercooked music? And I thought you misheard me. I thought that you were like, dude, that I was talking about music. I was like, damn, I never got a question like that before in my life. It like threw me off, you know?
Yeah, it's like it's definitely an art. Like if you watch my first interviews, like they're not like this.
No.
They're like so blunts or bombs?
What or the worst is like, what inspires you?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
like it's hard enough falling into those questions like why do you make music? What inspires you? What other artists do you like? Da 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 da. What microphone do you use? It's like, but no, it's definitely it's this has been really fun and yeah, I'd be happy to come back anytime you want me, man.
for sure, for sure. All right, well you have a good night, and I hope you've had a great weekend. It's been a long one. It's been dope.
For real though, man.
Chia. All right,
All right, man.
peace.
Eddie G, you're most certainly a G, brother.
Bro, 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 bro,
Bro,
bro.
bro, bro. Peace out, bro.
Yeah, all right, peace.